Well, for many foster kids or former foster kids, the transition into adulthood is extremely challenging. A recent report shows almost 40% of young people who have been in care end up homeless after turning 18. But the care leavers you're about to meet are determined to become exceptions and are campaigning for the state government to better prepare others.
You know, it's really unfair to be able to expect these kids to just know and just work it out.
You don't get treated normal, really.
Ben McGeary has just moved out of home.
That's the scary thing for me, you know.
At 18, he's legally considered an adult, but unlike many others his age, he doesn't have a mum and dad. They died when he was just 5.
He lost it, and he stabbed my mum 27 times, and then he killed himself. So it was pretty much straight after that. Immediately, we were put into foster homes.
Separated from his brother and sister, Ben spent the next 13 years in and out of at least 10 different foster homes, moving schools and struggling to fit in.
I knew from that point that my life was going to be a lot different to any other kid, because, you know, normal kids have the support of their parents.
And now, at 18, like other foster kids his age, he's forced to fend for himself, living independently and learning all the things parents usually teach their children.
Who do I fall back on if I'm in financial difficulty, or I've broke my leg and I need someone to come pick me up? It's just things like that that quite often still go through my head.
What's been the most difficult part of being independent?
Budgeting. Budgeting's a big one. Obviously cooking, you know, and just talking to people.
We are dealing with children who have already fallen through the cracks, and we know that. And yet we continue to allow them to fall through the cracks as they get older, under the guise that you're 18 now, you're on your own.
26-year-old Sam is another care leaver.
I sucked at it for the first few years, if I'm honest.
But after many challenges, she's also managed to overcome the odds, studying at university and finding stability. But Sam says others aren't so lucky.
The child will realise I'm actually not under the care of anyone anymore, and will have a care factor of 0 for themselves and for the society that they've been brought up in because of the crap that they've been through. So that kid is likely to go off the rails.
Become couch surfers, become homeless, obviously getting a job, and if those connections don't happen, they can get a little bit lost.
Anglicare CEO Peter Sandman, himself a former foster child, believes kids need more time to mature and should have relationships with their foster parents beyond 18.
At the moment, as soon as they turn 18, that's the end of the foster care arrangement, and like any other child, they need to have some kind of continuing relationship with their parents, their foster parents.
But that isn't always possible. Like in Ben's case, one of his foster placements ended in a physical altercation he now regrets.
She knows that I've told her as many times, you know, she is the best thing that's ever happened to me, you know, and I love her dearly. Sorry, you know, and I'm very, very sorry. I am, truly. And I hope one day I can see her. I can.
He was scared. It's a big step to go out of a home into the big wide world.
Jeanette Bafulco was Ben's final foster mum. She tries to support him as much as possible, but believes kids like him need better services.
My 2 older sons, they were around about 19 when they decided they wanted to go it alone. And both of them were back 2 or 3 times before they actually were successful in living on their own.
I didn't know where to turn. When I turned 18, I pretty much turned to my own family for support, but it didn't work out very well.
Which is why many care leavers, like former foster child Tamika Morris from the Create Foundation, are lobbying the government to raise the age of foster care to 21 and provide more hands-on training from the age of 16.
Basic life skills. How do you cope with a crisis? How do you pay your bills? How do you prioritise? What are your priorities?
So far, so good for Ben. He's got an apprenticeship, is renting a room, and he's working on the cooking. But he and Sam are determined not to become another statistic.
So I look at where I've come from, and I look at statistically on paper who I should be, and I'm so proud. I think I'm not that girl. I'm not that girl. Look at me go.
If I can be a voice for other foster kids, that would be great, because I'd love to do that too.